According to the World Animal Health Organization, SARS-CoV-2 can spread from humans to susceptible animal species. In some circumstances, such as intensive mink farming, SARS-CoV-2 can circulate in animals and spill over back to humans. However, animals are not playing a significant role in COVID-19 pandemic spread, which is mostly sustained through human-to-human transmission. You are now witnessing a moment important for the global science. This dog is one of the first animals on the planet that has been vaccinated against novel coronavirus infection COVID-19. For over a year, every day, doctors are struggling for human lives. But to protect the world in future, one should recall how the virus emerged. Like other coronaviruses, dangerous for humans, SARS-CoV-2 was transmitted to us from animals, most probably from bats. As expected, this zoonotic virus, i.e. a virus common to humans and animals, did not confine itself to human population only. Since the beginning of the pandemic, over 20 countries reported cases of animal infection with the novel virus. Among the infected animals are cats, dogs, minks, and ferrets on the fur farms, zoo animals, tigers, lions, a puma, and even a gorilla. In the USA, SARS-CoV-2 virus was detected in a wild mink. Due to the virus spread on the fur farms in Denmark, the total farmed mink population in the country was destroyed, 17 million animals. We have made this film to understand the complex and still understudied association between animals and the new virus. We interviewed virologists, veterinary specialists, ecologists, and evolutionary geneticists.
Astonishing number of genotypes, recombination capacity.
As long as you give the virus an opportunity, plenty of opportunity to evolve, the more chance there will be that it will happen.
Of course, you can expect a lot of trouble from it.
I think that within 5, 8, or 10 years, it is highly likely that there will be another coronavirus outbreak.
Chapter 1, The Age of Corona. There are more than a nonillion, 10 to the 31st power, of individual virus particles on the planet. Putting them all in a row, we will get a line with a length of 100 diameters of our galaxy. In the 21st century, representatives of a specific virus group broke into our lives: coronaviruses. They are named so due to the special shape of the virus particles. There are crown-like spikes, protein modules on their surface.
It was in this century that we realized that coronavirus is a rather dangerous enemy for the mankind. It was in the 21st century that SARS-CoV, MERS-CoV, and this horrible pandemic of SARS-CoV-2 occurred. What's the matter? Why did this happen? Surely these are random phenomena.
Scientists compare the modern pandemic with the pandemic that broke out in the world in 1889 to 1890 of the 19th century. Then the so-called Asian flu first appeared in Uzbekistan, swept the whole world, and claimed more than 1 million lives. The causative agent of the disease was not identified. However, according to one of the feasible hypotheses, the pandemic was caused by coronavirus OS43. The virus evolved from a bovine coronavirus.
Now it is a fairly harmless virus that causes mild colds. We can't say for sure what to expect from this novel coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, in the future, but we hope that its fate will be more or less the same.
Unfortunately, there are other possible scenarios. Our world has tremendously changed in the last 100 years or so. The world's population has increased almost fivefold since the beginning of the 20th century. People have started to breed more animals. The biomass of livestock and other human-bred animals today is 10 times more than the biomass of wild animals. In addition, human encroachment into the wild has increased. All this creates new, incredible opportunities for viruses.
What I think is something that we really need to be aware of as the human population in the world, really, is that we have exceptionally close contact with a lot of our animals, and not just our pets, but in general domesticated animals, and that can help for a zoonotic disease to breach this species barrier.
One of the main viral properties is variability. Viruses change most quickly under suitable conditions, such as in places with a high concentration of hosts, animals, people, or other living creatures.
The most widely accepted hypothesis on the origins of COVID-19 is that the outbreak started at the Wuhan market, which is known as a place where Chinese traders sell live exotic animals, land animals and aquatic animals alike.
When animals live densely, the virus is easily transmitted. Animals get infected and exchange viruses. Virus recombination occurs, and all that provides conditions for very pronounced variability in the viruses.
Chapter 2, Variability. This film is dedicated to coronaviruses that are champions in their ability to change and adapt to different types of animals. Animal coronaviruses have been known to veterans and virologists for more than 80 years.
Virus was isolated exactly from animals, from birds in the United States of America in 1937.
There are 4 main genera of coronaviruses, known as alpha, beta, gamma, and delta. This diversity includes viruses of humans, birds, bats, cats, dogs, pigs, cows, hedgehogs, and even belugas.
They infect different animal species just because of their specificity. What is the main feature of this virus? It has a very long RNA genome.
The ability of coronaviruses to mutate and change is higher than that of many other viruses, such as the smallpox virus. Coronaviruses have RNA, ribonucleic acid. Unlike DNA viruses, RNA viruses are much more likely to mutate due to the instability of the molecule.
A bomb is a man-made creation, and we know everything about it. We know which button to press to stop it or explode. And this virus is like a bomb that explodes from something unknown. You press one button and the virus is disarmed. You press another button and it activates. You press the third button and it kills.
After millions of minks in Denmark and other countries had been culled, scientific journals and the media began to publish scientists' reports about the need to develop a vaccine for animals. The vaccine will help stop the transmission of the virus between animals and reduce the risk of new viral strain occurrence. This includes SARS-CoV-2 variants that are dangerous to humans.
We can and probably should develop a vaccine just to be on the safe side in case some emergency occurs. After all, we obtain new data literally every day.
I think it's really crucial, really, that these vaccines are becoming available because there will be, the virus has a big zoonotic potential.
Chapter 3, Vaccine. The world's first vaccine under COVID-19 in animals was developed by Russian scientists of the leading institute of the Federal Service for Veterinary and Phytosanitary Surveillance.
When the new coronavirus emerged in China, we carefully monitored the developing situation because we understand coronaviruses quite well, and we are aware of its ability to overcome the interspecies barrier and spill over to new animal species. Unfortunately, this vision and our forecast proved true.
Denmark has announced it will eliminate the country's entire population of farmed minks after mutated coronavirus strains were reported among the animals. More than 15 million will be culled. In some cases, the mutated virus also infected people. Medical experts fear that could jeopardize the effectiveness of future COVID vaccines.
When information appeared on the first SARS-CoV-2 cases in animals, the Araya experts started creating a method for detecting the new virus in animals. The scientists rapidly developed a test system to diagnose the disease and began to develop a vaccine.
In the spring of 2020, we realized that unless we created our own vaccine here in Russia, protecting our animal breeding industry would be simply impossible.
The world's first vaccine for prevention of COVID-19 in animals was created in less than a year. The inactivated, i.e. killed, SARS-CoV-2 virus is the active ingredient of the vaccine for animals. The whole particles, the virus virions, are absorbed to the aluminum hydroxide adjuvant. The researchers recommend that animals should receive 2 vaccine doses.
We recommend using a 1 milliliter dosage of the vaccine with a second shot 21 days later.
The vaccine will be especially needed in places where a large number of animals gather, such as on fur farms, in shelters, and in zoos.
The development of this vaccine is very important to farms for the containment of pathogens like COVID-19.
The vaccine's safety and effectiveness has been proven in clinical trials.
In 2020, ARIA invited us to participate in a project for the control of coronavirus infection in carnivores. This is very important for us. Therefore, we responded positively to the FGBI ARIA request and provided our facilities, resources, and specialists for the project.
When the film was prepared, all the experts whom we asked questions emphasized an important fact. Animals are victims of the pandemic. Today, animals do not play an important role in the infection spread among people. However, the virus spread on mink farms will create new conditions for its evolution. Mink farming does not exclude the possibility that the animals may escape from a fur farm.
Minks are not vaccinated in our country, and in case of escape, they will get in contact with other wild species. Wild animals are likely to become a reservoir for SARS-CoV-2. Therefore, they may pose a certain threat to humans, so we need to break the chain, and to do that, we surely need vaccination.
We are very happy the vaccine was developed. It will save many lives. This will be highly relevant not only for homeless animals, for animal shelters, foundations, animal breedings, and care facilities. This will be relevant for all pets, because any infection or virus can come into the house and shoes.
Both the vaccine and the test system should be considered as just a part of large efforts taken to study the new coronavirus and its connection to animals. Veterinary virologists and microbiologists all over the world are involved in this work. The Araya researchers are planning to study duration of immunity in vaccinated animals.
And at this stage, veterinary medicine steps forward. It is necessary to isolate such viruses, evaluate the genome structure, and identify possible mutations. This is a huge work that is being done, perhaps, for the first time on the planet.
At the initial stage, it is impossible to prevent this kind of infection. It is impossible to build a safety net properly. Therefore, the only adequate approach is to develop drugs, specific drugs, against the coronavirus infection and methods for vaccine preparation. It is not so easy to prepare vaccines against a particular coronavirus in advance. Example, against the coronaviruses that will emerge in the future. But particular methods, the so-called platforms, can be worked out.
We live in a world full of viruses and different infections. We have to admit it, and the new vaccine is an additional instrument to manage them.
All animals, if you look into their eyes, or just touch them, will give you a piece of their soul. This is a ray of warmth in every family.